Looks like our bandit's been at it again. Well, this morning I've got the old hydro on the go. A client of ours dropped off 11 tanks for hydro, so yeah, pretty busy this week. I don't know if you remember last week's episode, but I took off the flexible hose there to replace some Teflon. Well, now I'm going to have to remove the whole rod, because the internal rod seals are now leaking. So there we have it, the starboard steering rod. Took literally 5 minutes to remove. It's not difficult. Now I'm just going to have to take this home and strip it down and replace the seals. So I've got the offending item on the bench, starboard steering rod. As I said, it was easy enough to take out of the boat. So I've got it in the workshop. I'm going to take it apart, and we'll see what damage is there. So here we have it, guys. One piston rod with seals. Now, I've had this out before. This is what it looked like with only one set of seals. Now, in my opinion, there should really be 2 sets of seals. However, last time we just replaced what we took out, which was 1 set of seals. However, this time I'm going to go with 2 sets of seals. Somehow I don't think this is quite right. So I'll take this to the hydraulic shop tomorrow, and hopefully they'll be able to give me a set of seals. Our Liz is busy this morning. I've got her roped in to do the pressure washing, and she's doing a grand job. Well, I discovered why this piston rod only had 1 set of seals on it. I took this to the hydraulic shop in town. I said, 2 sets of seals. He said, oh, the inner seal piston diameter is a larger diameter than the outer one, so there's no seals for this diameter. So like, hence the reason why whoever didn't put a set of seals on the inner side of the piston. So takes the piston along to the machine shop where we took the propeller shaft, and I got them to turn down the piston on this side to the same outer diameter as this side, and boom, I've put on a set of seals. So this is how it should look like. So I've boxed it up, and it's just a case of putting it all back together. So that's it all back together, ready to install tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see what it's like. Fingers crossed, eh? Okay, that's the starboard steering rod fitted. So it's a question of just filling up the system again and bleeding it through, and yeah, hopefully it's going to be okay. So what's happened now is we've bled the system through, and the starboard steering rod is fine, but unfortunately we've noticed that the port steering rod is now passing there's oil passing across the seals in the port rod now and going into the catchment container. So that tells me the seals on the port one are now gone. Now, we've never had a problem with this port rod before up until now, so I'm suspecting it's only got one set of seals in it instead of the two. So we're gonna have to remove this port rod and take it home, get it on the bench, open it up and have a look. So I've just stripped down this port side steering rod cylinder and took a look at it, and I see the seal here is broken, so hence the reason it was leaking, plus it's a little brittle, so it's been there a long time. So yep, we'll get this off to the hydraulic shop. And again, like the other one, there was only one set of seals where there should be two, so looks like I'm gonna have to go back to the machine shop again and get this piston machined as well. Got a set of regulators this week for a client of mine, or should I say a friend of mine. So he reported he was having a leak on his first stage at the bottom, so I suspect one of the, either the O-rings passing or there's a leakage on the seat. So anyway, we'll strip it down, see how we get on. Okay, bit of a panic on today. We were called down to the yard. Rapido, Chasamba, well, apparently dragged their buoy from here to there. Luan is towing us back to where we were, and we're going to drop the anchor and then investigate why she's dragged the buoy. I suspect the chain's part. So she's basically dragged from here to down there. So if things weren't bad enough, we've got no steering. The port side steering rod is in the workshop and I'm waiting on spares. So I had to hurriedly rig up the emergency steering, so as a precaution. But we got towed by the workboat close to where we were before. Here's the workboat coming in now, hopefully with some information on our mooring buoy. Okay, so the plan is we're going to try and rescue our mooring buoy and concrete block along with its chain. So the plan is we're going to go out, do a dive onto the mooring buoy, see what the situation looks like. We'll probably have to tie off, well, we're going to sink one of these drums. We'll tie it to the concrete block. We'll put some air inside the drum. Hopefully the concrete block will start to rise. That being the case, we will then tow the mooring buoy and all the jewellery back to its original place. So that's the plan anyway. Okay, so off we go, out to the buoy. Well, as I suspected, the chain detached itself from the concrete block. So yeah, okay, we're going to tow the buoy back to where it came from and reattach. Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, George. You look at some of those shackles, they're absolutely bollocks. Now all the guys have to do now is locate the concrete block, and the idea is we're going to run a line through the concrete block on the seabed, attach this thin line to a thicker line, and we'll use that as a temporary mooring until we can get some suitable chain. Well, thank the gods of the ocean, the guys have managed to locate the concrete block. They've attached a small line. We will then run a thicker line as a temporary mooring. Okay. So Chasamba's back on her buoy. Well, to be honest, she was never off the buoy. She just decided to take the buoy for a walk in that general direction over there. Anyway, as I said earlier, the chain had obviously rusted through near the bottom, near where the block is, and well, off she went, walkabout. So thankfully she stayed where she was. I think the weight of the chain prevented her from going any more. Anyway, so tomorrow morning, first thing, new chain. There we have it, the dodgy culprit, the chain. Some places it's pretty much paper thin. Look at this shit here. Look at that. That's probably what, 50%, maybe 70%. Well, look at this here, eating through. Yeah, it's well bollocksed. Some links are actually still okay, pretty much still 100%, but not many. Hi, good morning. I'm in our little workboat this morning. We managed to purchase some new chain. It's not ideal, but it's all we can find. It'll do. It'll last a couple of years, but it'll do for the time being until we can get some decent chain from Manila or some other place. But anyway, it'll do. So the plan is to install this morning. Randy's actually underneath just now taking some measurements, so fingers crossed we can get this done today, and that way I'll sleep better tonight. Well, as Randy's got his underwater play suit on, I'm gonna take the opportunity and get him to fit the shaft anode. Hi guys. Okay, here's an update of what's been going on. First up, client's first stage regulator sorted, sticky piston. Okay, word of warning to all you divers out there: clean your equipment when you finish your dive. Okay, look after your gear. It's life-saving equipment. It will look after you. So next thing, port side steering rod. We cannot get seals. Okay, so the steering rod is still on the bench. I've got seals coming hopefully sometime this week. Hope to get that fitted. And Chasamba, what happened with Chasamba is basically the chain goes through a concrete block on the seabed. Where the chains joined together, there was a couple of links rubbing like this. The links were actually in relatively good condition because these links were literally buried in the mud, but they'd been chafing away, and over a period of what, 2-3 years, off she went on walkabout. Now this could have turned out a lot worse than it did. Thankfully it didn't. So as you've seen in the video, we fitted a new mooring chain. I need a new mooring buoy. That'll get done maybe in a week or two's time. Fingers crossed that'll get sorted. But at the moment she's safe and secure, which was the #1 priority. So as well as all that going on this week, I've been trying to apply for a US visa. Now I might be going to the US next week or the week after to to go back offshore. For those of you that don't know me, I normally work offshore. I've been out of work for 2 years now. So somebody's offered me a gig. I've accepted. Beggars can't be choosers. So we'll see what happens with the forthcoming videos in the future. Hopefully I can continue posting, but they're not going to be on a regular basis, unfortunately. However, all that could change. All that can change. Liz and I are going to Manila next week. I got to get a medical, so fingers crossed I pass the medical. If I don't pass the medical, I'll be back in here. So anyway, guys, thanks for your help, thanks for your support. Big thank you to all our Patreons, subscribers. Without you guys out there, this would not be possible. So in the meantime, hopefully see you all next week.